Saturday. Okay, so I'm here today with my second project from my 12 weeks of Halloween. And we're going to be making this adorable little bag that you could put your treats in. So this is a quick one, and I'm going to show you how fast and easy this would be. These come in a set of 8, and they're a great deal, and they're also easy to stamp on. So I thought this would make the perfect little treat bag. So we're going to start with the bag here. It's nice and flat. It's not wrinkled. I had a couple that were a little bit wrinkly. I would probably recommend just running your iron over them for the sake of getting them flat before you start, so it's easier to stamp on. Now I'm going to work with my Memento ink on this one for my black, and I'm going to start off with my Gorgeous Grunge stamp set. I'm just going to use this. It always reminds me of like tire tracks, or you know, burnout lines, as we always call them as teenagers. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start, and I'm just going to do one here, and I'm not even going to re-ink. I'm just going to do my second one down below it, nice and simple. Okay, and then my second, I'm going to stay with that Gorgeous Grunge stamp set, and I'm going to use the little ink splatter one. And this time I'm going to use, this is just my Old Olive ink, so I'm going to give it a little bit of that. Now the only thing you do want to remember, and I didn't the first time I did my sample bag there, was I was kind of playing around with it before the ink had dried, and I smeared some of it, so just be careful with that. Again, that one's just from the Gorgeous Grunge stamp set, so we'll stamp that one on and leave it. And then the next thing I'm going to use here is actually the Epic Alphabet set that came out in the recent catalog. This is amazing. It's a photopolymer set. So it's so easy to line up, but it works so perfectly for any kind of a project like this. Now, my original bag I didn't do in Pumpkin Pie. It was actually done in Tangerine Tango, but I'm going to do it in Pumpkin Pie because I added my ribbon after and I want them to coordinate. So using my Pumpkin Pie, I'm going to grab my little bee, whoops, and I'm going to ink him up. And like I said before, these are so great because I can actually see where I'm putting it. So I'm going to put my little bee on. I'm going to hold it down, just give my fabric time to absorb the ink. Okay, so there's my bee. And now I'll do my O. And I'm going to make those there. 1, 2. And then I'm just going to switch back to my Memento ink for that last little exclamation point. Add that in, squeak him in on the side. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black Stampin' Write marker, and I'm going to go in here and give him some eyeballs. Oh, I stuck them in the B and the O this time. Oh, last one I stuck them in the O and the O. Either one is adorable, so you can go ahead and choose what you like there. Now I've just gone in and grabbed my Naturals, Neutrals Designer Button Collection. And so I'll grab one of my basic black little buttons from here. Now, every time, I don't know how many of you are My Paper Pumpkin subscribers, but there's always tons of little goodies and stuff like that. And I do tend to hang on to them just because I find they're so great for little projects. Okay, so I've kept this one, and it's just a bit of Old Olive. And so I'm just going to feed this through my button. Now with the magic of TV, you didn't have to watch me try and tie that bow with my stubby little fingers. So painful to watch. Okay, so this one, I just added mine on with glue dots. Now I didn't just use one, I definitely used a couple, but I made this sample, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and no issue with it coming off. So I'll just stick that one back on there. Now, again, I'm going to be careful not to touch the area that I've stamped in with my classic inks, just because I don't want them to smudge. But all you're going to do, I'll show you how I did my little bow in between, was I squeezed that tight. So you'd put all your little goodies in, squeeze that tight. Now I took my piece here of my Pumpkin Pie chevron ribbon, and then I tied this little guy to finish him around it. So he just held him in place. And then once that part was done, I was able to tie my bow. I don't know if anyone else notices this, but it's so much easier to tie a bow when nobody is watching you. Okay, get that kind of on there tight. And then once that's finished, again, being careful not to smudge my little green. Well, that's not tight enough yet. And then I'll just give this little guy a trim over here. And so then you can see I've got those two cute little bags. I think I'm more partial to the eyes in the O's. Does that make sense? And you can see how easy that was to finish up there. So these would be great and quick for colleagues, for your kids' friends at school. And they're really reasonable. And as you can see, really quick to stamp. Hope you enjoyed this project.